Yes, so good morning again, everyone. I hope you are enjoying this course. In last class, we have discussed what is a string, how we can define a string. We need to define double quotes, or we also seen lots of things with we also did like how we need to print it. What are the different ways to print? What are the value that needed to be uh, stored inside a string? So as I told you, that is basically a class, but like here we have defined this as a string data type value, and also we discuss in detail about a string concatenation, how we can add two different kind of string. If what will be the like resultant if we add any integer and in string kind of value. So all these things and the relevant resultant I already have mentioned over here. So whenever you will get time, you can check it out. Okay, so we also try to add double kind of values and looked like what would be the concatenation answer for that. And then in detail, we discuss about character, the ASCII values. I shown you like how we'll need to identify. We analyze that the ASCII value of character A to Z is from 97 to 122, and then accordingly we add the values and got the output and the long and everything. Yeah, so we looked into all these things, and at the end we were looking some mathematical operations. Okay, I'll say mathematical operations. Okay, so we looked that like what would be the output. First we tried, we can say right here. So I divided 10 with 3, but like there was no decimal output we got here. We just simple got the answer, and there is no like numerator and denominator. We just got it. Like there is no decimal output over here because none of these value is in decimal. So the simple output would be a simple integer kind of value. If one of these value is defined as a floating type, then we'll get that actual output like 3.3 point something like that. So one of these values should be that floating. Let's write it like this, 3.0. Let's see what would be the output. And yeah, so we'll also look into this one. So we'll check it out like what will be the output of this 10.3.0. So from today onwards, I like to tell you some more interesting and new programming mathematical operations. So we'll start from here. So yeah. Yeah, so let's start from here. Like, if what will happen if we divide 10 simply by 0? So, what is the error? Or let's check it out. Division by constant. So, it itself given an answer. So, we cannot do it like represents a 32-bit signed integer division by constant 0. Okay. So, this is saying that what will happen if we divide in math? If we talk about maths, so in mathematics, what happens if we divide anything with 0? What we do with the output in maths? So in mathematical operations, if you are reading maths, then I hope you are aware that you will get kind of infinite value, whether it's 100 or 1000. If you divide anything with 0, then you will get infinite. So but in programming in C sharp, you cannot define the value like this. Or let us say, if I say this is 10 or s is 0, then you're going to define like this, g upon h. Yeah, so let's define like this. Yeah, so you have defined like this. Now if you are going to, let me comment out these two and this as well. So if you are going to run like this, the value of h is 10, you can see, and value of h is 0. So let us see, we will get infinity. How we'll get infinity or any some other output over here? So let me run it. Why it's not going over? So we need to drag it a little bit down. Don't know that. I don't know how it will go up. So I hope you can see my screen, right? My screen is visible to you all. Yeah, so we can give a try from here. So I just assign the value z is 10 and 100. Yeah. So that window got closed. Okay. So that got closed immediately. That closed because there was an error. And let me show you like how we can stop that. Prevent unsafe abortion evolution. Yeah. So there is an exception. Here is the output. We can look into that. So you can say there what is exception. I'll tell you later. So there is an error and or program like you can say this is showing in red color and error is the system division by zero exception. So this is a kind of arithmetic exceptions. If we'll do like this every time, if we'll do like this, if we'll divide anything with zero in real time, in real mathematical world, we are going to get the answer as infinity. But in programming in C sharp, in Java you will get arithmetic operator exception, but in C sharp you are going to get division by zero exception. That means the C sharp, your C sharp code is saying I cannot accept this answer because like you are dividing anything with zero and that doesn't make any sense. That value will be infinite. So every time remember this, the interviewer may ask you this question: what will happen if I divide anything with zero? And in like in real time as well you may get this kind of scenarios. So always remember that if you are going to divide any value with zero, at that time you are going to have an exception. Your program would be get terminated and the resultant would be division by zero exceptions. Okay, so I hope you have got this particular thing. So let me comment it out. And we were also looking into this. What would be the value of this? We are dividing the same thing we did over here. Like we did divided. Let's make it three once again. So same thing we did over here. Like we divided 10 upon 3, and the resultant was 3. But now here, what we are doing, we are trying to divide 10 with 3.0. Let us see what would the output. Let's execute it once again. Yeah. So you can see the we are this time we are getting exact output that we were expecting 3.3 point, the same output that we like got over here. So the basic understanding over here is that if one of these value, either it's numerator or denominator, would be a floating value, floating or decimal value, then we'll get the exact output. If both value would be the integer, then the output would be the integer only. Okay, I hope this concept is crystal and clear to you. So yeah, this kind of output we are going to get. I just comment it out. I just commented it because otherwise every time whenever we'll execute the program, every time we will get that this exception or and our program will get terminated. That's why I have commented it out so that further we can write some code to get some output. So let us see. Now let's some more interesting arithmetical operations. Let us say console dot write line. What will happen if I divide 0 with, let us say, 9? What will the output? So in mathematical operations, we already we all have in our classes, day-to-day life, we may have these kind of things. If we divide anything with like anything with zero, then that a resultant would be zero always in mathematical word. So let us see what would be the resultant in programming terms. Let us execute it once again. Okay, let us start. Yeah. So this is console and the output is zero here as well. Okay, so we are getting the same. Anything like if the numerator is zero, you may write anything over here, any numerical value, or always the resultant would be zero only. Okay, and let us see, let's move forward. Mm, uh, okay, so let us say 0 divided by 0. So what do you think, guys? What can be the expected output? So first of all, this is so intelligent now. Visual Studio has been so intelligent already. This is like giving an the same kind of thing over here as well that we got over here, division by zero exception. So in it itself is giving the warning over a division by zero constant, means the value you cannot divide it with zero, anything you cannot divide by zero. If you will define the value initially like g is equal to zero and h is equal to zero, then there would be no any compile time error. But when you will execute the program, you are going to receive the same kind of exception over here, because you are divide by zero, you are trying to divide anything with the zero. Okay. Okay, let us move forward. And let us say one more good thing to you. For an example, mm, what will happen if I try to divide zero point 0.0 with 0? Yeah, you notice here we are getting uh, the resultant like this is showing an error, but in this particular line there is no console like compile time error. You see that there is no error. Why so? Because this is an inbuilt functionality of C sharp language. Let me comment it out here. So in this case, what would be the output? We need to figure it out. So any guess, Aswini, or just see like what do you think? Like what would be the output if we are trying to divide in programming language zero point 0.0 with 0? You may write your thoughts in comment box as well if you like. Like just in simple guess, what do you think? Like what would be the output? Any exception, this kind of exception, or zero or infinity? What kind of value we can expect from here? Yeah, you may write your thoughts. You or you can unmute yourself and tell me the answer. That is okay if you would like. So let us say without wasting time, let me execute it and we'll all see that answer. I hope you can hear me. Like, let's confirm so that I can get confident that yeah, you are understanding these concepts. Aswini, can you hear me properly, like loud and crystal? Aswini, you may unmute yourself and please reply like if you can hear me.
Yes, I am able to hear you.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's cool. So let's execute here. My numerator is 0 point 0 and denominator is 0. That may pretend something weird to you, but how this exactly works? Yeah. So here is your console output, and that you get the output is like NaN. The output is NaN. So what does that mean? So NaN means not a number. You are getting the output is not a number. So you need to remember this. This is basically this is how this programming language is designed. Whenever you are going to divide a floating value with zero, like decimal value with zero, then every time you are going to get not a number output. Is that okay? If you are dividing like integer value with zero, then you will get this may be a very important interview question. If you will get zero, if you are dividing integer value with zero, then the output would be an exception. If you are dividing a floating value with zero, then the output would be an not a number. Fine. Okay. If you face any difficulty or any question, then you may stop me. Okay. So let us say we are trying to divide one more good thing. 5 with 0 0.0. Then what kind of output you may accept? This time, this is an integer type of value, and we are taking denominator as 0 0.0. It's a floating kind of value. So let's execute it and see the output by yourself. We're going to get, I hope in yeah, we are getting value is like infinite. This is the sign of infinite, and initially there was output like infinity, but now they have changed it to infinite sign. So the output would be like infinity. Yeah. Okay. So if you are dividing an integer value with floating value, floating 0.0 value, then the output would be infinity. So these are the thing like you need to remember this. There is no other option. There are 4 5 like these kind of weird kind of, I would say, values. You need to remember this. Okay, these are very simple and like very not that much frequent use of these things, but like we should be aware. We should be aware so that we can get confident if any is going to ask us, or maybe like to build our own logics, own concepts. Yeah, we need to do like that. Okay, so let's move forward. Uh, let's let's see few more good thing over here. For an example, you have floating integer, floating numerator, and the denominator is also floating. Then what kind of value you are going to see? So this is kind of uh, like similar kind of value you can see over here. The denominator is however same, but like we have changed that in numerator with a floating value. So let us execute it. See guys, no one will show you these kind of interesting facts, but although as I told you that these are like very interesting things about programming language. So uh, like you will definitely get benefited with these kind of thing, and I'm sure like maybe you already have aware of these things, but this is very rare chance, because I used to spoke with many students, and they are like they are not that much aware about these kind of outputs, not a number and infinity and all. So here also you will get, if this is an floating numerator and floating denominator, that time also you are going to get not a number. Okay, so two times we get not a number if the floating is 0 and we're trying to divide it with 0, and if both 0 0.0 and 0 0.0, then the output would be not a number. So let us see one more thing. Here we did 5 with 0 0.0. Let's change it to say 5.0 to 0 0.0. Here we got infinity when we try to divide a integer with float value, decimal value, then we got infinity. Now what will have happen if instead of integer we are taking a floating value with 0 0.0, then what kind of value we can accept? So logically we should get infinity over here as well, because we are trying to divide any real value to 0 0.0. Let us see what the console reflects. Yeah, so in console, I hope we'll get the right. Yeah, we get the infinity over here as well. Yep. So try to remember this whenever there is any number. Okay, like not a zero, we'll divide it with 0 0.0. The resultant will be infinity. Okay, so this is the inbuilt functionality of C sharp. We not have like any kind of control, like why this kind of output is showing over. This is the inbuilt functionality of C sharp language. So I hope you are good with all these operations, right? So these were some basic mathematical operations that we have discussed so far. Okay, so uh, let me tell you one more thing. Let us say we already have seen the concept of character and the ASCII values of every. So for example, if I write, if I am defining a character like C1 is equal to A. So what do you think, like if I are trying to print C1, then what I'll get in output? So Aswini, I want to hear from you, like what do you expect? What kind of output we should get over here? We have defined a character C1 and we are trying to print it out. What kind of value we should get?
A.
A. Okay, let us see. Yeah. So you are absolutely right. We got it. The output is like A. But why we not didn't get 97? Because the ASCII value of A is 97, right? But here we are getting the value is like A, because we are not performing any mathematical value over here. Okay, we are just printing the value of C1. We didn't perform any mathematical operations. But like my question is to you, if I want to print that ASCII value of A, the mathematical input of A, then what should I need to write inside the console? Could you please guess or like put some mind on it? If I want to get the output like 97 because the ASCII value of A. I hope you remember the concept of ASCII values, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what I need to do, if I need to get the output like 97, then what I need to do? So nothing, like simply what you need to do, you need to do like a casting. So casting means converting this particular value, character value, into the integer. So you need to convert any value, or for an example here, let's take this particular example. If you need to convert this character inside a integer, then just put it like this, int. So what here you are doing? You are simply, you have an character, and by adding these like small brackets and integer command, you will convert this character inside a integer. Similarly, like further we will see more concept about, we will understand further in later sessions, like what is type, what is casting, what is upcasting, downcasting, and all these concepts. But here try to understand that we have casting, we are converting this character inside a string. So to convert any value, just put the comment it like this. Further we'll understand if we need to like convert it into double, then we'll simple like it double. If you want to convert in semi, like in other like in float, then you like the data type as float. But here we are converting into a simple integer. And let us close this window and execute it. Let us see what kind of value you are going to get. So the concept is you got 97 exactly. Initially the output was 97, and here we have converted this A into the integer, and the value is 97. So how it's internally working? Let us say what you were having, for an example, you were having in database, like we have this database. So what we did, we have defined a character over here, like character A. Okay, we defined it like A, and this the C1 was referring it. C1 is an, I told you that this is an variable. So the value of C would be, when we will print C1, or sorry, C, then this is C1, not C. So the value of A would get printed. But now in the second line, what we are doing, first we get the value of C1, then we convert it into the int. Okay, and we got the value as 97. This is our output. So how it's working? Okay, yeah. So this was the thing that I need to convey. Uh, okay, so now I think these are the basic mathematical operations, and we'll understand few more concepts. Let us for that, let's create a new class, because that is a new concept. So every new concept I'll try to explain in a separate class. So guys, if this got disconnected, so please try to join with the same link. Okay. So in this class, in this particular class that we are going to create, we will define increment and decrement operators. Increment and decrement. This is our class name. Okay. So as I told you that there would be only one entry point, and that is there would be only one main method in any program. So in the last class that we have discussed, we already have took a main method. So I'll simply comment it out. Okay. So that we can define our own main method in that class. Why it's throwing an error? Okay, so it's saying I cannot define these values inside directly a class. You need to define a method. I'll tell you the concept of methods later. Yeah, so the error gone. That's fine. Let's increment and let's create a man method inside this. Okay, we have our man method, public static void man. Okay. Now try to understand the concept of increment and increment. Let's see. Your first concept is post increment. There are two kind of. Let us see what is increment and increment operators. If I say plus plus sign, plus plus means increase value by a. Let's say increase the value by 1. And if I will put minus minus behind any value or digit, then that does mean uh, decrease the value by 1. Okay. So these are two operators that would be we are using at the time of incremental and incremental operators. These are known as the, this is the increase incremental operator, and this is the decremental operator. Okay. So we'll understand first. There are two kind of increments and increments as well. One is post increment and another is pre increment, and similarly the post decrement and pre decrement. So let us say first we'll understand that post increment. Post increment. Post means, as you can see, the word post defined. Post means later, बाद में. Okay. Pre means पहले. Post. So we are doing post increment. Let us see. So for an example, I am defining an integer. Integer a is equal to 1 and int b is equal to, let us see. This is the way we can define. So b is equal to a, and here I'm using plus plus. Plus plus means incremental operator over here. Okay. So my the value of a is 1 and b is equal to a plus plus. Plus plus means the value of a would be increased by 1. Okay. So for an example, plus plus means if I say I have 1, if I use plus plus, then the value of a would be 2. 1 plus plus means plus more 1. Okay. And if I say I need to decrease this, like I have 1, and if I'll use minus minus, then the result and the end output would be 0, because my value is 1 and this got decreased by 1. So you need to look it like this: 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, and you need to, if the sign is minus, then it's look like 1 minus 1. Yeah. Plus plus means just increase the value with 1. Minus minus means just increase the value by 1. Okay. For an example, you have instead of 1, if you have 5 over here, then what would be the output? That would be 6. 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And if you have 10 over here, then 10 minus 1, then the output would be 9. Okay. That these are just for the understanding purpose. Let us say. So we have defined a is equal to 1 or b is equal to a plus plus. So what the output we can expect? Let us say a and let us say b. So yeah, I want to answer from both of you. Like, tell me the output. Maybe you can think about it and answer me. First thing, then answer. Like, what kind of output you would expect from here? I need both of your inputs, like Jassi and Ashwini. So Ashwini, like, what do you think? What would be the output of A? What would be the value of
1.
A? Okay, and
One.
okay, and for B,
2.
okay, okay, and Jassi, what's your thought? What would be the value of B? So let's execute this program and analyze the output by your own. Okay, yeah, let's execute it from here. So the output is like 2 and 1, right? So what we got, the value of A is 2 and the value of B is 1, not 1 and 2. How does that happen? Let me explain you. The actual output, the value of A is 2 and the output of B is 1. Okay, this is interesting. So what does it happen? So see guys, try to understand this. This is post increment. So we are trying to print a over here. So what does that a did first? Like we let's understand this. So the value a assigned here, the value is 1, and that post increment, and that got increased with 1. Okay, first assign then increase. So when what we did, like a is equal to 1, so this a got assigned to b. So what b become? B become 1, because the value of a initially it was 1. So first this got assigned, then that means b is equal to 1, then it got increased with 1. Okay, increased a increased with plus plus means 1, then the value of a would be 2. Okay, first assign, always remember post increment means first assign then increase. Okay, so first a assigned to like a got assigned to b. We can understand it like, first the value of a, what was the initially the value of a, the first value of the original value of a is 1, that got assigned to a, that means is 1, then it got increased with 1. So a, the final value of a would be 2. Okay, first assign. Okay, now let's understand it with one more example. So let us say integer, yeah, is equal to minus 99, and say integer d would be c plus plus. Yeah, c, sorry, and d. Yeah, so let us again, I would, both of you, I would request like first thing and then answer what would be the value of c and d. I already have explained the concept in above example. Now it's your turn to think and answer. What would be the, so Swini, what would be the value of c over here this time? First assign then increment. We are doing post increment over here, not pre. Post increment. First the value would be assigned to d, and then the value of c would get increased.
minus 100.
Okay, and the value of d would be
minus 99.
okay. So I need to like check with you, like how did you calculate it? Could you please explain like how did you get minus 99? Yeah, yeah, don't worry, like it may be wrong, that's why we are
See,
here to, yeah.
min minus C9 minus 99 was assigned to D, and then I
Yeah,
have
so yeah,
increased
yeah,
the value of C.
first, yeah, first understand, you are right. First 99 would be assigned to d, so the d would be 99. Then post increment, we are doing post means we have write this plus plus sign after c. Okay, so then post c means this value will get increased with 1. Okay, right? So
Yes,
plus 1, yeah, plus 1, then what would be the output? 100 or something else? Wouldn't it would be minus 98? Minus
it's
99 plus 1 is not
98,
100.
minus
Yeah,
98. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it would be not
Yeah,
100
yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
have one minus plus 1 is
Mm-hmm.
equal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were right, but like calculated in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So the both value would be minus 98. Sorry, minus 99, and this would be minus 98. Okay, minus 99 plus 1 is equal to minus 98.
Okay.
Let us execute it and analyze the answer with yourself. Yeah. So this is calculating the value for us. Yeah. So you see minus 98 and 99. That's what we were expecting. Correct? So I hope you have got some idea about the post
Mm,
increment. Let us understand the pre increment.
mm,
Okay. Say integer. Let's define one more integer. E is equal to, let us say, 1, and integer f is equal to, we are doing pre. Pre means first increase the value and then assign. In this, we are playing C plus plus and here plus plus E. This plus plus sign is before E, before our variable, and here is after variable. That is the main difference. So this is पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट, बाद में हो रहा है इंक्रीमेंट, यहाँ पे प्री इंक्रीमेंट है, इंक्रीमेंट जो है दैट इज हैपनिंग बिफोर. ओके, सो लेट्स राइट इट like, yeah, let's print E and then let's print F. Okay, so what do you think, what kind of output we can expect over here? So let me explain you. First, the value of E would come over here. So this will be first increase. So the value first increase and then will be assigned with F. Let me write it down over here. First increase and then assign. Okay. So how will work like this? First, this A would be come here, but like you can see, this plus plus sign is written over here. So this would be like plus plus means 1 plus E. Okay, so 1 plus E, the output would be 2. So the value of add would be 2 this time. Got it? And the value of E, what would be the value of E? Obviously, this has been increased with 1. So the value of E would be 2. Okay.